Hello fellow hobbyists, I'm Jason and this is Level Up Hobbies, where I build, paint, and play tabletop games. Now if you caught my last video, you'll see that I painted up the notorious orc war boss, Ghazghkull. Now today I'm going to continue with that momentum and I'm painting his standard bearer, Makari. So let's go ahead, let's jump in and start painting. I'll see you at the end.
I begin by priming the model with Stynylrez Black Surface Primer. Now this will give a nice dark base coat to start layering up the colors on. I start adding color to the skin with a base of Deathguard green. Now this will give me a nice kind of sickly green actually to start layering colors onto. It's a great base to work with. I've thinned this and it's going to take me, I think it takes me about 2 coats to get the coverage that I need. I decided this is a good time to paint up the base so I don't have to worry about it later. So I lay down a base of Rhinoxide and then I follow that with a dry brush of Doombull Brown, then dry brush of Xandri Dust, and finish that with dry brushing Ushabti Bone. And once that's dry, I wash the base with some Agrax Earthshade, and then I just kind of spot color it, add some tone with some Druchii Violet and then Athonian Camo Shade. Turns out like pretty nice. I like it. Now it's time to wash all the skin tone with Plaguebearer Flesh contrast paint. This gives me a nice yellowish green once it's dry, and the color really pops. So it's a really good color to start building highlights up from. And to begin highlighting that green, I'm going to take Elysian green and mix in a little bit of Wraithbone to brighten that up a little bit. And I start just dabbing highlights on very thinly, and I just build those colors up as needed. I decided to go ahead and paint in all of the silver bits of this model, silver and steel, and for that I'm using a base of Citadel's Lead Belcher. I use Xandri Dust to base the cloth that he uses to cover his feet. I would say shoes, but he's not lucky enough to have those. Next I use Snakebite Leather contrast paint to add a nice rich warm tone to that initial Xandri Dust.
highlights with some...
And now I'm using Baneblade Brown to add some highlights to these little slippers he's wearing around the battlefield here. I start applying black to different parts of the model that I need to darken up a bit. There's these little flags hanging from the banner. There's a couple panels, his little loincloth that he's got on there. All are based in Abaddon black. I take Baraknar Burgundy and I start thinly layering it up on the upper third of these little banners here. It's a nice color. It covers black really nice, and it's dark enough that it doesn't stand out from it. And then from there, I just kind of glaze in some Mephiston red to brighten it up a bit. The lighting right here was really bad, so it's hard to see those. Next, we're going to do some edge highlighting on the black with Administratum Gray. And we're going to thin this out and just kind of use the side of the brush to tap and add some highlights along the banner, and then also a couple glyphs and his little tabard that he's wearing. Now it's time to start base coating various pieces in Corax white. Some of these will remain white, and others I'm just adding a light base coat that I can start adding lighter colors to.
Hey guys, quick reminder, if you're enjoying my channel, please subscribe down below. It really helps the channel out in the long run. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down whether or not you enjoyed the video or not, and leave a comment. Those really help, and I read every comment and I try to respond as soon as possible. All right, let's get back to the video.
Okay, let's add some Cygor Brown contrast paint to the staff. Cygor Brown's a nice warm reddish brown, and it goes really well with this green skin tone. I begin picking out little portions of the model that I want to add some Flesh Terror's red color to, and that's going to be like the bottom jaw of the skull on the banner and some horns and one of the glyphs. This goes on really smoothly over the Koroks white. Now we begin using some Wild Rider Red to add some highlights to those red panels that we just painted. I use Averland Sunset to lay down some color on one of the glyphs. This has really good coverage, but if you don't thin it down, it tends to appear a little grainy in my opinion. And then when this is dry, I give it a good edge highlight with some Citadel Dorn Yellow edge paint. Next, I start adding some shading to the Koroks white using the Silicon Gray. This is a nice way to add some shade to white, as you can build it up gradually, and it has a very good effect. I pick out a couple areas that I add some Balthazar gold to. And once this is dry, I'm going to wash it with some snakebite leather contrast paint. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I like this method as it adds a lot of, I think, depth to that gold base color. And when you highlight up from it, the highlights really pop. And now it's time to highlight up those panels with some Canoptic alloy. I break out the Baraknar Burgundy again, and I use this to base the wraps on the handle of the standard. And once this is dry, I give it a wash of Nolan oil and finish it off with a highlight of Ghazghkull red. I paint in the glyphs on the standard here as best as I can, going off of the box art and then also like the orc transfer sheets. Turned out okay. Maybe a little bit more practice, I can get better at that. But then I finish off the model with a couple coats of Vallejo matte varnish. And Makari is finished. I really enjoyed this model. I've got the original Makari from 2nd edition, and they really kept the kind of playfulness of that model, or like how the orcs used to be, and brought it into this, but then also revamped it and brought it more in line with the direction they're taking the orcs. And that banner is just phenomenal. Like, it is an awesome sculpt. Just like Ghazghkull, this was a very fun model to paint, and I enjoyed it. And thank you for joining me as I completed this. I'll see you next time.
Thanks again for joining me here on Level Up Hobbies as I painted up Makari, the standard bearer for Ghazghkull Thraka. Now if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I publish new material. Thanks again, and remember, build, paint, and play tabletop games. Later.